Hello everyone, and thank you for watching Fayetteville Public Utilities Channel 6. I'm Sarah Mack-Young, and in our studio today we have two special guests with us. We have Miss Mary Ann Christian of the South Central Regional Director for the Tennessee Suicide Prevention Network. And then we also have the minister of First Presbyterian Church, Mr. Bruce McVeigh. It's great to see both of you.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Thank you for coming into the studio today. I'd love for you to introduce yourselves, and we'll start with you, Mary Ann, and tell folks a little bit about yourself and what you do with Tennessee Suicide Prevention.
Awesome, thank you. So I am Mary Ann Christian. I'm the South Central Regional Director for the Tennessee Suicide Prevention Network. So I have the 13 counties in the South Central, and Lincoln County is one of them. We work on three main areas. We do prevention, intervention, and postvention in regards to suicide. As you know, suicide is becoming a health issue for our state, especially for Lincoln County. And so one of the things that we do is we're working on an educational campaign to help people learn the warning signs and risk factors and be able to talk to and ask the questions to help save a life.
Absolutely. And Bruce, tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So I'm Bruce McVeigh. I'm the pastor at First Presbyterian Church. I've been in town here in Fayetteville for about 18 months. In addition to being at First Presbyterian Church, I'm one of the leaders of the Lincoln County Suicide Prevention Network. We're a group of, 20, 25 folks who live here in Lincoln County who are trying to help bring down our suicide rates as low as we possibly can after a really bad year in 2018.
All right, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about suicide. This is not an easy topic to talk about. It's not something that's we talk about a lot, but it's something that maybe we need to talk about, and we need to get information out to folks. And so let's talk. You talked about there's 3 rules there, Mary Ann, that you're here to kind of educate folks on.
Most definitely, and you're correct. There's a huge stigma with suicide. Nobody does want to talk about it. They're fearful of it, and they don't understand it. There's a lot of questions about why it happens, how it happens, and even how to prevent it. So having a conversation, learning about it is so vitally important. That's why we're working so hard to bring that to everyone, but definitely to Lincoln County.
All right. And Bruce, when did you guys get the network started?
So we started. Unfortunately, one of the young men in our church's youth group, Miguel Mina, died by suicide in the fall of 2018. And as a response to that, a group of us, we started meeting together, and we had an initial QPR training at our church in January of last year. And subsequent to that meeting, 20 or 25 of us started meeting because there were, I believe, 4 or 5 students in Lincoln County last year, both in the city and the county systems, who died by suicide last year. And so that really brought, it was kind of the boiling point to bring many of us together to get to work on this issue.
Gotcha. You talked about the QPR training, and let's tell folks what that means.
It's question, persuade, and refer. You learn how to identify warning signs and risk factors. Then you learn how to ask the question appropriately, refer them to appropriate help, and persuade them to get help, and then refer them to the appropriate help. So it's a training that really is for just anyone so that they feel comfortable when they see or know of someone who is having thoughts of suicide, be able to intervene and possibly save a life.
Absolutely.
I like to tell folks that it's kind of like CPR for, anybody can learn to do CPR. That doesn't mean that you're going to become a doctor or a nurse, but it's kind of that first step, that first intervention, and that's what QPR is, but it's, instead of related to cardiopulmonary resuscitation, it's related to suicide prevention.
Gotcha.
It's mental health first aid.
Yeah.
Mental health first aid. That's a great way to talk about it. Let's talk about the Suicide Prevention Network and tell folks at home a little bit about what you guys are doing. I know it's a health issue is one way of looking at it, but it's also, there's a lot of other ways to look at it.
That's right. And so like I said, we probably have 25 of us or so that are pretty active, and it's comprised of, there are a few local pastors, teachers, guidance counselors, nurses, first responders,
Veteran.
There's really kind of a wide swath of folks from Lincoln County, and some that, you know, are concerned parents, or, you know, some folks who'd had suicidal ideations in their past that want to help work to prevent it now. And so we spent really the first year studying the problem and trying to learn what makes Lincoln County unique. You know, because suicide is a nationwide problem, but we can't, you know, Lincoln County isn't exactly like the rest of the United States. You know, we have things that make us unique and parts of the problem that make us unique here. And so we spent a year kind of digging into statistics, speaking to healthcare providers, speaking to counselors, pastors, teachers, you know, professionals in the mental health field, to kind of try to think of some things that are unique to Lincoln County. And then we spent time building some ways to sort of target out some test ideas to how to try to lower this rate as much as we can.
Gotcha. You know, you talked about it being it's a countrywide problem, but I think you've actually got some statistics, Marianne, that you would like to share and kind of let folks know, because maybe you don't realize, some folks at home don't realize that there is a lot of folks that it is all across the nation, but also definitely here in our own hometown.
Mm-hmm. Yes, in Tennessee, we lost approximately 47,000 people to suicide in the year of 2017, which, when you look at that, that's quite a bit of our population, of our community members that we are losing. But when you, before I go into specific dates with Lincoln County, I want everyone to know that in the last 10 years, according to the CDC across our country, suicide rates among youth have tripled. So that's a pretty scary statistic. It is now in Tennessee the first cause of death for youth within the age of 10 to 17.
Wow. It's
the second leading cause of death when you look at 10 to 24-year-olds. So that's a very pretty scary statistics. And as Bruce mentioned, last year here in Lincoln County, they lost several. But in 2018, there were 15 lost in Lincoln County who died by suicide. And taking that statistic per capita, the rate per capita in Lincoln County is one of the top in the state of Tennessee. It is the top in the 13 counties in the South Central region.
Wow. Let's talk a little bit about, you know, who should come to this training? You know, honestly, who should be there? You know, Bruce, you talked about there's a lot of different folks there. There's about 20 to 25 of you that are working on this, but there's going to be a lot of trainings from here for several months. Mm-hmm. But who needs to attend these trainings?
Anybody.
Everyone.
Anybody that likes someone or loves someone or sees someone on the street or is alive should come to these trainings, because suicide is a nationwide epidemic. I mean, there are more people than we realize that are suffering from suicidal thoughts and suicidal ideations. And this is just a very basic, you only have to come to one of these sessions. Mm-hmm. It's an hour and a half, and it helps you understand what to do, how to get help, and how to recognize signs. So anybody, I mean, honestly, anybody should come. Anybody over the age of 18, I'll offer that caveat that QPR is geared toward adults. And there's a different training for younger folks. Yes. That we're, you know, thinking about, you know, trying to figure out how to offer. But right now, QPR is 18 and above.
So folks can expect to, in the trainings, learn how to spot folks that may be thinking or debating suicide, correct, Marianne?
Most definitely. You will learn warning signs and risk factors.
Okay, and then you will also educate us to kind of know that if we believe that, then there's ways to help folks.
Most
Is that
definitely?
Okay.
Most definitely.
And then what else will we learn in the training?
You will learn some of the resources that are available, not just here in Lincoln County, but across the nation, and how to get that person, if they are indeed having thoughts of suicide, how to get help for them.
Gotcha. All right. Because we definitely want folks to know, you know, we don't want to be afraid to talk about it.
Exactly.
You don't want there to be a stigma there. You want folks to be aware, and we want to try to help as much as we can. Let's talk about the trainings that are coming up. We've got some in February, and then in March, I do believe. So, Bruce, would you like to tell folks where they're going to be?
Sure. So the next one will be February 2nd. It's a Sunday night, and it'll be at Washington Street Church of Christ, and it'll be at 5:30. Washington Street Church of Christ is on Washington Street, downtown, 209 Washington Street. The one following that will be the 20th of February at First United Methodist Church, and it is also downtown, right off the square, 200 Elk Avenue. And then in March, there'll be one at the City Hall, the municipal building, on March 19th. Also, all these are at 5:30.
So they're all at 5:30. Do folks need to register, or do they need to do anything? Just show up?
Show up, and you only have to come to one of the sessions. Like I said, you don't have to come to all of them. It's only an hour and a half, and I believe there'll be refreshments too.
All right. So we definitely want folks to know about when these meetings are. You want them to come out, and you want them to learn.
Most definitely.
And that's what this is. This is going to be a learning session for you. And I like how Bruce says, if you love anybody, and Mary Ann too, if you love someone, you care about somebody, everybody, anybody, you want to come to this and you want to learn.
Most definitely.
This is a great way for you to help others in our community and be aware.
Exactly. And you know, Bruce referred to QPR as being similar to CPR, and that's so very true. But when you look at the number of people who are trained in CPR and then how often they actually use that training compared to the number of people in QPR and how often they use that training, QPR is used much more frequently. So it's definitely a wonderful way to learn a skill and be able to help save lives.
Absolutely. Well, we hope folks will come out to those trainings. And Bruce, I'm going to let you tell them again when they are and where they are.
Sure. So the next one coming up will be the 2nd of February, is Sunday night at Washington Street Church of Christ, which is 209 Washington Street, downtown on the square. The next one will be the 20th of February at First United Methodist Church, which is also just off the square, Elk Avenue, 200 Elk Avenue. Then the next one after that will be the 19th of March, right at the end of spring break. And it will be in the City Hall building, the municipal building. And they all start at 5:30 and will last about an hour and a half. Free, no registration, just show up, eat, and learn.
Absolutely. Now, if folks have questions or any concerns, is there a phone number where they can call and ask? Or if maybe they're watching this and they can't make it to one of the trainings, but they want to talk, how can they get in touch?
They're welcome to call me. My office line is 931-433-1905. And that's here in Fayetteville at the First Presbyterian Church.
And they're also welcome to call me. My number is 931-629-2746, and we're both available for questions.
Absolutely. And you welcome questions. And you
Most
welcome
definitely.
folks
Absolutely.
wanting to be trained and wanting to know more.
Most
That's
definitely.
great. Well, we have had Mary Ann Christian and Bruce McVeigh in the studio with us today, and we've been talking about the Lincoln County Suicide Prevention Network, and we've been talking about the QPR training, which is question, persuade, and refer, that is going on here in our community. And Bruce gave you some great dates. There's several dates. You only have to attend one.
That's right.
It's about an hour and a half training, but you'll walk away with some very valuable skills
Most definitely.
that we hope that folks at home will come and take advantage of. But we appreciate both of you coming in today and talking with us, and we appreciate what you're doing for our community.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Yes, most definitely.
Thank you, our viewers, for watching FPU's Channel 6, and we'll see you back in here next time.